Two of my favorite guys are in the studio with me. Well, not in the studio, virtually here with me. The amazing Billy Thorpe. I think this is his third appearance. And Zach Brown, who knows how long he's been on here. Many, many times. Good to see you both, fellas. Thanks for joining today.
Absolutely. Good to see you, man. Thanks for having me.
So if you're watching with us, we're going to be talking with Billy. Billy is like one of my favorite entrepreneurs ever. If you saw our show last week with Lisa Donato Glassner, she had a book coming out, and we talked about that. But she did something really cool about her book. She got it sponsored beforehand. And I like digging into these ideas of entrepreneurs who are doing something different than all the gurus tell them to do, or if the gurus tell you to do something, they do the opposite, like kind of like what Billy has done. So we're going to talk about that today. So this is going to be a fun show, and make sure wherever you're watching from, you ask your questions. We want to make this show all about you. We try to pull up as many of your questions during the show as possible. That's what makes it so much fun. Otherwise, I'm going to ask all the questions because it's like free consulting for me. And we've got the amazing Rich Graham saying, hey, hey, hey. Hey, good to see you, Mr. Graham as well. Zach Brown, how are things in Orlando?
Wet.
Is it raining?
Having, like torrential downpour rains. So yeah, everything is very green, very lush. The grass is like super thick. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking for a little respite.
Does it just go straight to steam when it rains there now in Florida? Because it's pretty
There's
bad.
There's that certain point where it hits and all of a sudden it's just like boom, and you're like, okay. But your pores open up and we just look glowing and radiant by 6 p.m. So we're ready for dinner. It's great.
That's right. You have to change clothes, but of course. But, somebody who's actually in a tropical climate is Mr. Billy Thorpe, cruising around the island. I see him all the time on his golf cart. Do you ever even drive normal cars anymore? Is it just all golf carts?
No, yeah. I mean, right now I do. It's so hot outside, so I'm enjoying the AC in the car. But yeah, man, if I can in the fall, in the winter, I will just buzz around. I got 2,000 plus miles on that thing already.
That's awesome.
I've had it for a year. It's great.
Awesome. That's awesome. You let your kid drive? I mean, he's 8. I mean, I figured it's
I do in the neighborhood. Yeah, he gasses it and takes off. Cool. So it's fun.
Awesome. Well, we have some more of our friends showing up. We have the amazing Sean saying hi from Boat, but mostly Disney. What's going on, guys? Sean. We are going to get started. I'm going to hit go in the podcast machine, and we'll get started. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Hello, folks. Welcome to Creator News Live. I'm Jeff C., and you're not.
And I'm Zach Brown, and this is the show that keeps you up to date on the creator economy and so much more.
Have you ever passed on an opportunity because it felt too small or too weird or a little bit beneath you? Maybe you're tired of hearing that you need a certain follower count before anyone will pay you. Or maybe your whole income runs through one platform and you've started to get maybe a little nervous about what happens if the rules change. If that sounds familiar, you are in the right place.
Our guest today is Billy Thorpe, the founder of Deal Billy HQ, back with us for a third time, the hat trick. He has produced somewhere around 4,500 videos in the last 44 months. Goodness. He has over 1,500 brand contacts, and he built the entire thing himself from Puerto Rico in about 25 hours a week. He got there by taking the deals every other creator in his space was too proud to touch. And today he's showing us how to find that kind of opening in our own businesses.
So sit back, clear your schedule, clear your mind, and get ready for this week's episode of Creator News Live.
It's Creator News Live, where the gatekeepers frown. Billy Thorpe said, hold my beer, now look at what he found. Nobody wanted it, and nobody bid. Ask what it's worth now, look at what he did.
That's right, it's the amazing Billy Thorpe here today. It was so funny because it pulled that line. You actually said hold my beer in the last episode you were on.
Hold my beer.
So I was like, that's too good. I got to leave that in. So that's so much fun to have you here. Thank you for being on once again, Mr. Thorpe.
Absolutely, man. I love what you do with all your guests. Like, that makes me just feel so special, and I'm now happy where I wasn't.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding.
What time is it? What time is it in Puerto Rico, by the way?
I'm ahead of you. I'm like an hour. I think I'm 11 a.m. So.
Okay, you're good. Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
Right. So
we're good.
I want to do a big shout out because Billy's going to be there as well. But the show is always sponsored by our friends over at Ecamm. You can find out more about them by going to ecamm.com amazon.com/Jeff. You can save 15% by using the code Jeff15 with your first purchase. But we're having the amazing Billy. He's going to be at Creator Camp. That's right, Creator Camp, September 28th through the 30th, 2026. You can guys go and find out more about that at ecam.com/camp. I'm going to be speaking. Billy's going to be speaking. Paul Gowder is going to be speaking. Pat Flynn, Michael Hyatt. Amazing people are going to be there. So you guys want to make sure you guys go check out ecam at ecam.com/camp. It's going to be amazing. Billy, what are you going to be talking about, by the way? I'm sure it's something to do with...
I don't know. Probably making money with content.
There you go. Exactly. Which we're going to be talking about today.
Hopefully Katie's not listening when I said I don't know. I'll be getting an email.
Exactly. But we've got some funny comments from Rafael says, I'd be happy to hold Billy's beer and watch him cook. Oh, there you go. I don't know.
Hey.
I don't. Are you a good cook, Billy? I don't even know.
No, absolutely not. Actually, no, not at all.
Okay.
I messed up breakfast this morning. Actually, it's pretty fresh of sadness there.
Got it. So, I want to ask you guys if you have struggled with doing like deals. We're going to get into entrepreneurship. I'd love to know what's your biggest struggle you feel as an entrepreneur, small business owner, solopreneur, what it is that you're struggling about. Put it down in the comments and we want to bring it up and talk about like the biggest, hurdle that you're trying to get through. But we're going to be talking about right now is the deals that nobody else wanted. And that's what Billy has done. So I want to talk about, first of all, kind of a thing I can't really stop thinking about when I think about Billy is when you were doing those $5 and $10 videos, you said, and I quote, pissing everybody off in the creator video space, and people were telling you that you were ruining the industry. So take me back to that time. I remember when you were in the same kind of circles as I was when we first started this Amazon stuff. What were they actually saying to you, and what did you know that they didn't?
I mean, yeah, what you said, like, hey man, what are you doing? You're messing it up for us. Like if we all, and it was kind of that whole thing, like if we all charge the same rates and we're all super high priced, then we can all benefit or whatever. So that was one of the things that people kept getting on to me about. But it was kind of the sector of people that I was in relationship with at that time, like especially like on Clubhouse, a lot of big creators, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people who spent a lot of time building an audience to then leverage for brand deals and sponsorship deals. And I didn't really have any of that stuff. So I was like, well, I think the one thing that I have is time, energy, and a repeatable system to create quality content quickly. And you guys are on YouTube, and YouTube is a whole other beast. And so I think the edge that I had was Ecamm. I mean, to be honest, like I was already producing a saltwater fishing podcast. I got into content, as a business, not as a creator. And so I was already making money from my saltwater fishing show. And so I thought, well, if I can do an hour show and switch scenes, I can do a 2-minute video and switch scenes and get it done in 2 minutes and make $10. Like who else is paying me $10 for 2 minutes of my time? Nobody. And I get a free product. So that was kind of my mentality going into it. I wasn't a big content creator creating 20-minute YouTube videos and having all this overhead and workload. So that's, it's understandable, but they just didn't, get the game, I guess, that I was trying to understand and play. I really didn't even know, to be honest, until I just tried it.
Right. So really quick, a follow-up to that question is, do you remember the time? So you were doing like these videos and getting paid to do videos, which to me is a little different than the kind of like, they're more of a sponsored video than getting a brand deal. So can you talk about like the first time you got a brand deal versus like just, cranking out videos for the Amazon platform? What did that look like? And maybe even explain kind of the difference between a sponsored video and like a sponsored brand deal kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, and I always want to like kind of lay it out like this, and I've been trying to make this make more sense over the years to be simpler to explain. And so I kind of think of it as like 3 different things, and I like fishing, so I always talk about that, but like a pond, a lake, and an ocean. And so, I find that the Amazon influencer space in particular is like a part of the video market. And the video market is all the way from home videos to Hollywood. Like it is a huge industry, and there's all kinds of little niche markets in between. And I think most people, when they got in early to the Amazon program, they were thinking like YouTubers, and that they were just thinking like, this is the way it's done on YouTube. And so, one, I think like brand deals or sponsorship deals or whatever you want to call it, they kind of all mix and muddle together in UGC content. And you really have to go in there and split hairs yourself to understand how each one of those segments kind of work and operate. And some of this stuff is new, like Amazon Influencer Program. And I just went and met a market where it was. So I didn't really like create this low. I wasn't going and saying, hey, I know this guy's doing $10,000 videos. I'll do it for $5. I wasn't doing that.
Right.
I was responding to people who said, I only have $5. What can I get for $5? And I go, I think I can create something for 5 or 10, dollars. And I didn't have, anything going on there. But anyway, so before that though, I had done like a $10,400 deal from my podcast sponsorship. And that was more of like sponsored content, like what, would be more traditional, like brand deal type of stuff.
And they give you direction and that kind of stuff. They tell you what to do kind of in.
I mean, still with that, man, not really.
Okay, good.
I mean,
you just do what you're at.
But yeah, like more of a UGC deal. That's more where it's like, hey, here's this brief. Now you're going to go through this, and we need these 30 separate pieces of B-roll in here, and it's all got to be smashed into 30 seconds.
Right,
and,
right.
And that's real work. I'm not really doing that. I'm hitting record, doing my video, hitting stop, trimming the ends, and uploading it. So once again, man, I think there's so many different like little nooks and crannies in this video space, and there's so many different ways to monetize. But yeah, there's, I take a line from Liz Wilcox pretty often where she was talking about her community, and she said it's low ticket, low responsibility. And I'm like, I love that. Like I do that in my own business where it's like I'm doing video, but it's low ticket, low responsibility. If I, screw up a $50 video, I'm not getting a phone call from someone's lawyer. Like they're just sending me they're sending me an email going, "Hey, can you fix this one thing you messed up?" And I go, "No, it's $50. I'm okay, whatever. What product do you want now?"
Right.
So,
exactly.
So yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of ways to chop up the video space for sure.
Very cool.
Billy, somebody offered you the easy out recently. You've talked about this, that you undercut the market by accident and you cut them off and you're like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. So walk me through, like, what was the math that you were running there? How did you know that a $50 video was a business and not just cheap labor?
I mean, to be honest with you, in the beginning, I didn't really know anything. I didn't really know what I was doing. Because once again, I was on this app called Clubhouse, and I was talking about sponsorship deals for podcasters, and everyone else was talking about YouTube, and then Amazon came into the picture. And then it was after I got into Amazon that people, started saying, hey, there's all these companies in China, basically, they don't have a budget and they want us to make videos. Ha ha ha. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I think I can, and I started thinking about Starbucks. I'm like, Starbucks doesn't make great coffee. If you've ever had great coffee, then Starbucks doesn't make great coffee, but they make consistent coffee all the time, and they don't charge the most amount, but they don't charge the least amount, and they can, just burn and churn these, mediocre cups of coffee all day long. So I was trying to think, like, how do I be the Starbucks of video? Like, I don't have to be the best top producing person. I don't have to be bottom of the barrel, but how can I stack it? And I'm like, if Starbucks can sell $5 coffees and have a profitable business, surely I can sell 10, 15, 20, 25, $50 videos and have a profitable business. And I can probably make a video faster than they can make a cup of coffee.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm like, I think I'm doing better than Starbucks. I just can't scale as well.
So I want to tell me if this is what kind of the big lesson is. I think, a lot of the big creators in the space kind of had egos on these high ticket deals, and you pretty much went, no, that's not what I'm gonna do, because you were making money. So how much of your advantage do you think was strategy, and how much of it was just like, I have nothing to protect? Like you said, like the $50 video, you're not gonna get a call back from a lawyer. So how do you balance kind of that? Is that, you think that's why you got the success that you got?
Yeah, I think in the beginning I just didn't have any, I hadn't, I wasn't like these other content creators. Like, they spent years building their brands, building their channels, building their reputation online. And I was like new kid on the block who had already pushed back against the podcast industry pretty hard, that would say I needed all these downloads and stuff to get a brand deal in a sponsorship deal. And I already went and did that with a fraction of what I was told I needed. And so I'm always been kind of that entrepreneurial, like scrappy, like, oh yeah, well, let me see if I can do it. Now I could have been super wrong and tried it for 90 days and, you know, been crying and licking my wounds, but I tried it for 90 days and I just told my wife, like, I'm going to go all in for 90 days and I'm going to just see what happens. And at the end of that 90 days, I'd made way more money than I did on that first sponsorship deals for my podcast and what I was making off of my podcast. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this a few more months and then I'm flipping the script. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I think I figured it out on accident, but then strategically built the system to meet the need in this piece of the market.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Because I remember because everybody kind of poo-pooed some of because a lot of it came from overseas, and a lot of people were like, don't waste your time on that. It's junk. And you're like, nah, I can crank this out and I can make money. So I think that was, that was really fascinating because I remember seeing it happen. Like I was there in the comments watching, stalking all the people saying stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then as we got to know each other and I was saying like, oh my gosh, this is pretty amazing. I love it that you took stuff that people didn't want to do and did it. It's almost like dirty jobs. It's almost like Mike Rowe, something that nobody wants to do. Like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do it and I'm going to make money at it. So kudos to you, my friend. There's
a lot of guys out in the world right now, guys and girls, cleaning up someone else's dog poop and making a ton of money.
Right.
Like it might not, and they don't have any ego. I mean, you got to just go in there.
Right.
And I think that's when you look at the numbers, when you look at the big scheme of like or big picture, I guess, of any business, it's like, I don't really care how the money comes. Like if I'm doing what I want and being able to make the kind of money that I want and hitting all those goals at the end of the year, what does the profit look like? That's all I really care about as a business owner. And I think that's where I had a little bit of an edge coming into this thing that most people didn't have is they got into content for content and whatever their goal was with the content. I got into it because I'm like, I'm here to make some money. I think this is a profitable industry.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
That's smart. Billy, you have this line that I love, that if you read in a blog that you need 10,000 followers of a certain follower account, that number is probably just wrong. You've proved it by selling a $10,400 sponsorship on 400 downloads. So how does somebody watching today, how do they figure out which gatekeeping rule in their own industry is fake?
Well, a couple things, man. I think if somebody is just harping on something like this won't work, this won't work, this won't work, one, kind of look at what they have currently going on. And so this is what I did. The person that and I'm not going to say who they are, but the person that I was following a lot in the podcasting space kept saying this 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Well, when I dug into what they had going on, they had their podcast, they had some podcast business stuff going on, but they worked like a full-time job. And I'm like, wait, this guy's trying to tell me I can't make money doing something that he's not even trying. Mm-hmm. So let me go try and just have a different conversation and figure out what do brands and sponsors and companies actually want, not just what we assume they want. And so that was the thing that I took into this business was a sales background where I, first of all, owned a business that was all t-shirt sales. So if I didn't make sales, I didn't make money. Mm-hmm. So I had to think about how to have conversations, overcome objections, all that stuff. Then I got in the podcasting world, same thing. The big objection that stops everyone was like, gotta have a huge audience, gotta have all these downloads. That helps. Trust me, if you have 1 million followers, like that's gonna be way easier, but it's not impossible. Right. You just have to find what that company actually wants. And so we had a saltwater fishing show on the coast of North Carolina, and they sold boats to people who lived on the coast of North Carolina. And so the math was mathing for them and for us. And then there's some other things that when you have these conversations and a business to business conversation, not just hey, I need money and I'm a podcaster and I'm a creative and I really got to pay for my, hosting plan. But it's like when you're saying like, hey, tell me about your business. How does this work? How does your advertising budget work? And then come to find out boat dealerships get compensated from, motor companies for ads that their motor, presents in. So, whoa, cool. Well, you don't even have to pay for this ad. what's the price? How much are you going to give you? Well, that's the price of the ad. Let's move on. You know, you get free advertising and we get some money and we're partners. So let's go. So yeah, I think that's the thing that a lot of content creators are not doing is thinking like a business owner. And it's tough. It's not like I did either. You know, I've just owned a lot of failed ones to have a successful one. So,
well, but
I like how simple that is. That
go ahead.
That it's so many people were just seeing the one closed door and taking that as the end all, be all end all truth and walking away. You took a second step, a second glance to go, well, what else is out there? You know, maybe that is true for your avenue, but you're like, let's see how this can work for what we're doing. It's just that second step of curiosity and just asking questions to get the door open.
Well, and the numbers game is really because of a CPM rate. So it's cost per milli, or it's like I'm going to pay you $10 for 1,000 downloads. So whatever times 1,000, right? Downloads. So that's how everyone was selling sponsorship deals. Everyone when I got into the game, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm putting your advertisement into my show forever, and as long as it's on YouTube and I'm paying my hosting fees for my podcast, I'm baking in that ad. And it's going to be there forever. So am I to send you an invoice in perpetuity, like forever? Or do you just want to pay me a premium fee for a one-time ad spend? Like it's one-time ad spend for a lifetime ad. And when I started having that conversation, even with big marketing agencies are like, no, it's CPM or nothing. I go, well, I'll send you an invoice forever. Like, I don't know what we're going to talk about here. It's like, you can pay me a premium and we can just move on. And it's going to be in there forever and ever and ever. And those videos are going to get watched. Those podcasts are going to get listened to. And, it's not dynamically inserted and taken away. I'm too lazy for that. I'm like, I put it in and just leave it. I don't care. I'm never going to look at that again.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I think it's so. We got some great comments from our amazing chat room that we get every week. We have Dustin Stout saying, when I was still trying to be a paid influencer, I took a brand deal with a Middle Eastern social network that I was trying to gain traction in the U.S. I struggled with it, but eventually took the money. Yeah, so I think a lot of us people that. And then, and we've got somebody who we both followed to when we first started our Amazon journey. The amazing Monty Weaver, who's been on the show before. We need to have him on again. He goes, when everybody else said no, Billy said yes. So that is very, very true. Thanks for popping in, Monty. And then Sean says, wait, we can make money doing this? Yes, you can. And Paula says, the freedom of the low ticket, low responsibility helps creators go all in. Skip the decision paralysis. Anything that makes my nervous system hum instead of freak out is a win for me. Very, very true. One of the things that I think that a lot of people struggle with is, they see these gurus and these influencers, and I've done it too. And you're like, oh, if I just replicate their system, I'll make their same success. And you've got to remember the algorithm has changed. Like the YouTubers who have like 100,000 followers, YouTube was different when they started than where you are. Now you can I'm not saying don't take anything they say, but kind of filter it. Like, okay, this is different than it was. There's some best practices I can do, but I've still got to experiment and try new things. And this is one thing I really wanted to talk about with you, Billy, is like, someone watching who runs a small business or makes content, and there's an opportunity in their world that everyone agrees is like beneath them or too small or too weird. Like, how do they find it? Like, what does an unpopular opportunity actually look like from the outside before anyone knows it works? Because you try to see ahead, you try to see all the different angles, and you're not. I think the other thing is you're not scared to try things, and if it doesn't work, you move on. Am I right in thinking that?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I think you have to always, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to always try to have your head on a swivel and get ready to pivot at any moment, because it can just change. And the minute you think that, this is great, my system's perfect, and I'm going to make money and do this forever, something will change. And so, I think first of all, you have to be okay with the lifestyle of entrepreneurship. Like, it's a lifestyle. Like, I've had wins and losses and successes, and there's times I'm looking on Indeed going, where I'm just going to go work for somebody else. I can't do this anymore. And it happens to all of us. And I think really to find those things, like, I always go against the grain just because that's my personality. I'm pretty skeptical most of the time. Like my baseline is like, nah, I don't really know. So if it's good or bad, I'm like, I don't really know. I'm going to go have to, I'm the dumb kid. I got to go figure it out myself and go, we got, just to get off topic a little, we got one of those little fly mosquito zappers, right? So I got one of those. I take it home to my wife. I go, look, honey, somebody sent me one of these things. I'm zapping mosquitoes. And I go, oh, I wonder if it really hurts because it says don't touch. And I'm like, eh. And I'm like, yep, it hurts.
It hurts. Exactly.
I'm that guy. Right. So, so when people are like, oh, low ticket brand deals don't work or whatever, just take a look at it from all angles. Life is like a diamond, I guess, or whatever, like a box of chocolates. Like look at it like from a bunch of different ways and just see, can I serve this market and can I do it in an efficient way that will be profitable? Because that's all that matters is like, are you going to profit or are you not going to profit? Like if you're not going to profit, who cares about revenue? By the way, I guarantee you most content creators and most people in this business, they'll be the fastest people to show you the top line, but they will not show you what actually comes out the other side after all the stuff runs through. And so if they're not willing to share that, then walk away. It's crazy.
There's a lot of people who like, they'll say like, I have 6-figure income, but they spend 7, right? Like they just like, it's a little crazy how they do that. But you and I are a lot alike. I mean, you said you're experimenting with things and like the bug zapper. Yeah. I peed on an electric fence when I was a kid. It's really bad. Now whenever the microwave bell goes off, I lose control of my bowels, but other than that, it's fine. I'm okay. But I think we're a lot alike in some of the stuff, trying some new things. Zach, do you have a question?
Well, I'm just picturing this. Hi, I'm Jeff C. and welcome to the Cow Fence.
Yeah.
Ding.
No, Billy.
That's right. Don't do that, man. I'm not wearing my Depends. Go ahead.
We're off the rails. I love what you were saying about like being okay with the, entrepreneur life. Like that is a mental game. And, so there's mental hoops to jump through. I'm so interested in those valley moments because we want to do this. It looks fun. And then things get difficult. Things get tricky. How do you get out? Like, what are those hoops for you? Like, in all honesty, that you have to go through, and what do you do to keep going?
There's a lot of stuff that happens. You don't expect. Like earlier last year, there was like a bunch of tariff stuff going on. All my clients are overseas. They're in China. That's like everything that I get into my studio to make a video of is coming from China, has a tariff attached to it. And so there was at one point where I just looked back and said, like, man, I've been in this space for almost 5 years. I've spent 4 years, and I've made I didn't update the bio, but I've made over 4,800 pieces of content on Amazon, 4,500 plus paid deals. And I'm, early 2025, like looking at this thing going, oh, it's all over. Like it's over. And I thought it was 2020 all over again, because that's how I lost my t-shirt printing business. Like I catered to huge audiences and we all know what happened. And so I'm like, I just looked at my wife and said, like, this sucks, but what's next? And I think that's some of it's in your control, some of it's out of your control. And that's why I'm real passionate about the business model that I have, because I want to be in more control than not. Not that I'm always none of us are fully in control, because we have to have other people and people do business with people and all that. But I think it's one of those where the first couple times you get kicked in the pants, you're just like, I'm never getting back up. But then after you get kicked in the pants like 10, 15 times, you build up a tolerance to getting kicked in the pants. And you're like, all right, like, let me go pee on the electric fence now to train more. So.
Well, the thing is, I think it does make you more resilient. Like I know now, like I'm like you, like I've got burnt enough times that I'm very diversified. Like I know I can pull another lever if I need to, if something happens. And I don't want anything to happen, but I think I'm confident enough, like if something changes or I lose a big client or, I can't go on, do live streaming anymore, I'm pretty confident that I can figure something out. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty confident that, this has happened in the past. It'll happen again, and I'll just deal with it because I've had to. Is that what kind of you're saying there?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and I can always clean up dog poop. I know those people make money. So
right, exactly.
I'm going.
Exactly.
I'll see you in the backyard.
That's right. Yeah. So in 2024, when you were on the show, you told us the mistake is niching down too far and you said you should be the guy talking about toothpicks and electronics. Do you still feel that way 2 years later?
Well, and we're probably more talking about the Amazon space. And if it's the Amazon space, I still feel the same. I still feel like diversifying in that space, especially early on, creating more content, it's going to get you more people looking at your content. It's going to get you more notice. Like every piece of content is my best sales guy. My next piece of content is my best sales guy. And so I think in the Amazon space in particular, yes, that is true. I don't know that I don't believe that with podcasting or YouTube or anything else. I think you have to like keep your wits about you and like be 80-20, like 80% we know what's going on, we know what you're going to talk about, 20% you're off the rails, like it's fine. But Amazon, no, man, just do toothpicks. I made a lot of money doing fingernail videos in the beginning, so fingernail clippers.
That's right. That's right.
Not fingernails. I would, but I didn't know how to press them on.
Well, I think even on this image that I did,
perfect.
Yeah, so there you go. So one of the things I want to talk about, like I think a lot of people miss about Billy in this next section, everybody hears like cheap videos and they think how much he's hustling. And I really think it's kind of the opposite. Like he has a CRM, he has software that auto-connects his content. He pushes one button and uploads 50 videos a day. And he works 25 hours a week because we've talked before, even offline, like you want that time to spend with your kid and your family. And you told Matt Stagliano in The Generator something that stopped me. And he says, if you're relying on the click, the algorithm, the view, the watch time, you do not own a business, you own a side hustle. So let's talk about that in the next section, because if you are relying on the click, the algorithm, the view, or the watch time, this is going to sting for a lot of people, because even me, we kind of talk about like that's how important that is. So let's talk about what's the actual dividing line on that, and what did you mean by that quote you gave to Matt?
Yeah, so first of all, I think being, like I said, in more control than not of your business is the most important thing. And like you said earlier, Jeff, like being able to pull the lever and have something happen for you is the most important. If you don't have leverage, you don't have anything in business. And so in my particular situation, working with Amazon for the last 5 years, and they change stuff in their business every like 2 months. It seems like it's like, oh, I got to chase another algorithm. I got to chase another thing. Well, vertical video works, horizontal video works, thumbnail works, no thumbnail, set up upside down on top of your head, like share offsite, share on site. You can put your grandmother in the video. It's like, there's so many different things. And then like, even for YouTube, I mean, I follow those guys over at Think Media, and it's like every 2 months, it's like, the algorithm changed. What you need to know now? It's like, okay, well, hold on a second. Like, I just figured out what I was doing 2 months ago. Right. So, one, for me, I'm just not that detailed. Like, I don't keep up with platforms that much. And so I'm like, people do business with people. People don't do business with clicks and algorithms and all this stuff. It's like, if I can't email someone or call them or get creative and help them solve their problems in their business, then I just don't think it's a good business model. And it's I call it all maybe money. I'm wearing my shirt that says no maybe money. It's kind of a lie. I love maybe money. I make a lot of, I'm going to upload the video. I hope it gets on the carousel. Maybe it gets clicked. Maybe it gets viewed. Maybe it gets bought. Maybe it doesn't get returned. Maybe it gets shipped. There's a lot of maybes there for you to make money on Amazon. But one thing is like guaranteed is I got paid for that video before I hit upload. And so that's where I'm a little bit more, I'll not make as much money off of a platform as I could, because I want to protect the future of my business. And so that's where I'm a little dogmatic about that. Not that everyone should, because some people, if you work a 9 to 5 and you got a great salary and you plan on staying there for a long time, then sure, who cares? Make all the maybe money, take all the risk. Like, if you don't care to lose it, then invest into their business. But I'm trying to invest into mine, not Amazon's.
Well, also the thing that because you've made that system so fast, you kind of like, even if it doesn't work for that particular video, you've got another one coming up right behind it. That's already been paid for by a sponsor. So you're not double dipping, but I mean, we'll get into how you make money like with all those videos in a little bit, because it's really genius. You make it on the front end, what the platform does, but then also selling the product later on the back end, which is genius. You got a full circle kind of way that you do things, which we'll talk about, but great stuff.
I love what you're talking about, Billy, about like the relationship and the people, like you're connected with them. You have over 1,500 brand contacts, and you said if Amazon kicked you out tomorrow, you would just email, all the people that are following you and raise your prices. So practically, how do you capture and keep those contacts warm? And what would that email actually say?
That's a great question. So I've been watching your guys' podcast. I'm trying to learn how to keep those emails warm and get that email list right and nurture that. And a lot of these companies are like overseas, so it's not like they're reading my articles trying to figure out anything. So it's for me, I think it's just about having that contact info, having that brand's information, and then if God forbid Amazon does that. If they kick me out, I'm losing a lot of money, but I'm not out of business. And that's my most important thing is like, I don't want to be out of business. And so, yeah, the email would probably be like, hey, this sucks, but I've been working with you for years and I've been uploading the video. Now it's double the price. You can have the video. And they would, because all these companies want is content, right? And it's like they either want to use it on their platform, you put it on your platform. Like they all need marketing material. They all want to educate customers and they want to get people across the conversion line, So it's like I will just offer a different. And once again, I'm with Jeff here. I don't know exactly what that offer is going to look like, but I know it's going to be made. It's going to be made thousands of times with one push of a button because I have done the work to collect those relationships and those emails, and especially with people I work with. There's some people I've worked with for 4 years every single week. Like they're sending me 2, 3, 4 products. So it's like I have some really good relationships there, or I broker other people's deals, with those relationships. So
yeah.
Something there is going to happen for sure.
Right.
I get a lot of outs when I have paying customers. I got a lot of outs.
Yeah. So, that's one of the things I think is so smart about what you do is like, you're not scared to ask for money. Now it's not it's not all the times like thousands of dollars, but you're like, I'm not doing this for free. Like, I think that was the one thing that I think both of us, when we first started, like, it's really cool to get products from stuff. Like when you first started, like, it's really cool to get drones and like all the drones. I still have drones. That's really fun, but that's not a business. That's like you getting stuff to fill up your house your wife's going to get mad at and you're going to have to throw out later. I'm speaking hypothetically.
It's a therapy session all of a sudden.
But you've got to think it through and not be scared to ask money, even if it's for a little bit. Like you were talking about brokering deals. Like if you're going to broker a deal, you need to be compensated for your time. So we're always talking about in our mastermind. I'm always pushing them like, ask for more money, because if you don't ask, then the worst they can do is say no, right? Like you got to keep asking.
100%.
But
yeah.
I want to talk about the thing that I think you did this year that I think is kind of the most Billy move of all, right? So you built this whatnot audience of like 3,000 buyers. Then you moved to Puerto Rico and that shipping math kind of broke. Like it was 3 times the cost. You had no United States Post Office contract. And, everybody else would kind of give up at that point. But you went and started building like a local reseller network on the island instead. So walk me through that decision and what that actually looks like.
Yeah, that was basically the decision because I was having a lot of fun live selling on Whatnot. And if you've never done it before, you should go to a garage sale this weekend, buy a bunch of junk, get on there and try to sell it. It's like so much fun. And I was having a great time. I sold over like 2,000 orders on there, which some orders for multiple products. And I built an audience of over 3,000, and it was so fun. And anyway, when I got to Puerto Rico, I immediately did a show and realized, like, oh my God, the contract does not include Puerto Rico, even though it's part of the U.S. or whatever. And I kind of hung my head for a while, and once again, like, God, this is a kick in my pants. But then the product keeps stacking up because I could still do the business here, so I would have to solve that problem. And I just started telling people like, yeah, I have all this product for sale. And then a couple of people would invite me to like a local market. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, the dominant language here is Spanish. Like everyone speaks, they learn Spanish and English, but it's like predominantly Spanish. And I'm like, I don't even know, whatever. Like, I guess we'll just figure it out. Yeah. Like I'm going, where's my translate app? And so I went and did one of these markets, and then I did another market, and then I did another. And so anyway, so then I'm like, building these relationships locally now, to where now they'll come to my office. Had a couple people this week just drop by and go through the stuff and figure out what they want. And then some resellers will come by. And so, and then also I'm selling stuff here for like 50 to 75% of retail, as to where on Whatnot, I was probably getting like 5, 10, 15, maybe 20% of retail, depending on how the show would go. And then fees and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it was just one of those like get uncomfortable and just, and there's one of my best buyers. She didn't speak a lick of English. I don't speak a lick of Spanish, and we just use translate apps, and we have a good old time and laugh and just. She makes a bigger pile and I make a better deal. So that's how it works.
So I think there's going to be across the country, it'll be like Thorpe thrift stores. Like it's what's going to happen. Like it's going to be a chain. You're the next Sam Walton kind of a thing is what's going to happen. Yeah. It's just fun. It's fun, man. There's always a way to figure it out. It might not be the way that you want. Like, do I want to go set up on a Saturday and sit for 5 hours behind a table and try to speak a language I don't speak? No. But I do want to get paid, and I do want to get rid of all this stuff. More importantly, get rid of all the stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Now you've said that the simpler you make it, the more repeat customers you get, and then you lock people into a rate instead of negotiating every deal. So for a service business watching this, let's say a photographer, designer, consultant, how do you build an offer that people buy over and over without you selling every single time?
That's I mean, for those industries, that'd be interesting to try to figure out, especially like for a photographer. I was actually thinking about this, like, how about you prepay for all 5 of your daughter's weddings, huh? Let's do that. Maybe some repeat business. And I'm not really sure, with other companies but I often think about the membership model. It's like, I don't charge like my clients I'm not on a retainer, which you could, I guess that'd be the simplest thing for like consultant or photographers. Like, if you're especially like a food photographer or something, and restaurant they're always adding to their menu or needing new pictures or whatever, or marketing materials. I guess you could think about a retainer. I mean, that'd be my best answer, I guess. But I don't really, and it's kind of an unspoken rule in my industry, or for me anyway. It's like, I say, hey, it's $50 a video, and they go, cool. And I just never talk about that price again. I just send the invoice and it gets paid. So,
well, I would say too, tell me if I'm wrong about this, Billy, but I think a lot of entrepreneurs think they have to be so many levels ahead of everybody else before they can give advice and charge for their services. So like for me, I'm not like, nobody knows AI is such a new technology. Like everybody, it's the Wild West. Like there's no gurus. Even if they say they're a guru, it's not been around enough to be like a super, super, super expert. But I know more than a lot of people, right? So I can sell those services. And you mentioned retainer. I have a couple clients that I'm on retainer for, that I help them with their AI. I look at their products and services, and I help them streamline or give them ideas on how to do stuff, or show them how they can speed up their workflows. And I'm not really selling anything, but they pay me monthly to ask me questions. So, and I'm not an AI guru in no way, but I've used it in my own stuff to make, push it ahead and move ahead and how we do things and streamline everything. So I think it's really cool what you've done. Like, you haven't figured out everything, but you figured out the next step for a lot of people that they're not doing, and you can help them do that, even with your membership and stuff like that. Am I right in thinking that? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't kind of think that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest hurdles that I jump through every day. Is like, what do I know? Because you're this close to it every day. You're doing it, and you just don't realize it. And then you jump on a podcast or a membership group, and I have people in my membership group, and I'm saying something, and they're like, wait a minute, like, you're just gonna brush over that? Like, that's a genius idea. Like, we've never even considered. And I'm like, I just do that every day. Like, so I think sometimes we have to surround ourselves with other people in different industries to be able to, realize the genius that's on the inside of us sometimes. And I say that like, not like, oh, I'm a genius, but I had this happen. Speaking of AI, I met a new guy here in Puerto Rico, and he has very successful business. And so we got together, and he's telling me about his early business, about selling PDFs and ebooks and things like this. And so I said, yeah, man, I've thought about that, but I don't know how to write anything. I'm a big dumb, and whatever. I can barely read, like more or less write a book. Right. And then he's like, well, tell me a little bit about your business. So I'm telling him, just like we're talking here, I'm telling him all this stuff. He goes, dude, you're sitting on like a $500,000 ebook idea. Like, what are you doing? Here's Claude Cowork. Use Claude Cowork. Do this, and that. So, man, within 3 days, I'd used AI from his advice, sitting down for a cup of coffee, to build out a full offer, a full playbook, and some other products and some email like grabbers or whatever you call. I don't even know what you call them, but they're working. They're on my website right now, working. And so, and then I built another AI, like another Chrome plugin to extract data from other, people's storefronts or whatever. I won't talk too much about that. I'll get beat up, but it's like, I don't know. Anyway, so it was me being around this person who just said, yeah, dude, these are good things that other people need to know. And here I am thinking like, well, I'm only 1 or 2 steps ahead. So that's not valuable information. And then this guy who's like, no, dude. And so I already made $500 off that ebook. It took me 3 days to get it from start to finish. And, and all I did was took content. Like I took one of our podcast episodes, took the transcript, threw it into a folder. I did that on like 5 different episodes where I was the guest off my own podcast, threw it in there. I was like, let's work on a playbook. And it's like, bloop, spits one out. And I mean, it's everything I've ever done in my business in that playbook. Yeah. And it's insane.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
So,
really quick, when you talked about that, one of the things with AI is doing things I've always wanted to do, but I've never been able to, or not had enough time. And now it's automating stuff. And that leads right into what we have now as a offer. It's free. It's totally free. You can go to jeffc.com/cheat sheet. And about, an hour or 2 hours after a show is done, it actually takes it, makes it a cheat sheet. It gives you all the takeaways, all the links, everything, the action plan, and it does it automatically. And you can get it for free at jeffc.com/cheat sheet. So go check it out. Kick the tires. Tell me what you think about it, because I thought it was pretty cool. It's always something. Amy Porterfield used to do this all the time with her podcast. She'd have like a download every week, and she'd have her team put it together. Well, now I have an AI team that can do it. So I've been really stoked about that. So go check it out. You have a question there, Zach. What's your question?
Yeah, Billy, you mentioned in January that you charge extra to put a video on YouTube. What else is an upsell that you think creators are just giving away for free?
Oh man, so much. Every platform you post on could be an upsell. The video itself, like if the company wants to use it as like an ad, or they want to use it in their own promotion, like that's an upsell. I mean, I think it's a pretty common one, but a lot of Amazon influencers don't think that way. And I went back and sold videos that I made a year ago. A company will reach out and go, hey, we want to use this video. And I go, cool, here's the fee. And they pay me another fat fee. And then I give them the file, and then, we move on from there. So I think like any of that stuff, like any type of content or UGC stuff, or, vertical, horizontal, like those are all upsells. Like vertical, horizontal, like that's a different I charge 2 fees for 2 different formats, and I just chop it up or create it at the same time. It's like, but that's 2 fees. They don't know. They don't know if I spent 2 hours chopping that up or 1 second. Who cares? And then I think like going in the live selling space, like live selling for other people, live selling for other brands, anything that you can do as a talent to get on camera and make content is huge. It's like, dude, you could just go to your local businesses and go, hey, I just want to make your social media content about pizza.
Right.
And here's 12 ideas. Let's try a couple, see how they do. And if they work, you pay me $1,500 a month, and I'll come in, eat free pizza, drink free beer, and make videos.
That's too dangerous. I couldn't do that. That would be dangerous for me. But, by the way, speaking of something that's not dangerous, remember Billy's going to be at Creator Camp. This show is also sponsored by our friends over on Ecamm, and you can find out more about them. But we have a quick word from our sponsor.
When your show deserves the very best, Ecamm stands above the rest. Ecamm.com/Jeff, won't you see? Broadcasting brilliance, easy as can be.
That's right. Thank you to our friends over at Ecamm. You can find out more about them and camp at ecam.com/camp. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the show each and every week. All right, so we're going to go into our next and final section. So, Billy, I want to know straight up, right now, this month, what are people telling you that is a waste of time or beneath you, and you're like, I got an idea?
Oh man, I've thought about this question. You know what? I don't think there's anything that they would say that I'm doing is dumb. They'd probably say what I'm not doing is dumb. So right now in my space in particular, leveraging the Amazon Influencer Program, the big move that all these top platform earners are doing is product research and investing into products. And I just find it to be something that I'm not even, because I have a proximity problem. Like Amazon won't ship a lot of stuff here. And so therefore I just kind of know my limitations and I'm okay with that. Even though I have a little bit of FOMO, even though I think I could crush this strategy, people will think I'm absolutely nuts for not doing a ton of product research and spending a bunch of money in hopes of a product video getting on a carousel. So that's probably what they think I'm crazy for not doing.
Well,
and it's okay.
Crazy like a fox. Yeah.
Because what I'm doing is we're letting them do all the product research, and then I'm leveraging my 4,800 pieces of content to go get a brand deal with the same company that they're paying for the product. I'm going to get paid to do the video and the banger product. Well, see you on the carousel.
And I think too, people don't understand that you're only working 25 hours most weeks on this. Like you are very like, I know, like you get up and you bang stuff out, and then you get the rest of your day free. Which, like, man, so many people would love that. They would gladly work those hours that you're doing and making the money you do. So don't discount that part of the equation too. That is very, very cool.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's a huge lesson for all of us. It's like in business, because in business, there's no like, oh man, there's enough. Like if you don't say there's enough, there's never enough. And no matter what you do, you'll always watch someone online who says what you're doing is not enough and you should be doing more. And it's just that, mentality that we've, especially in the States, we've just like grown up with, of like just grind, hustle. And, my wife and I looked at each other the other day. We're like, we live in a tropical paradise that most people want a vacation in. So we live in other people's vacation spots. We're debt free. Like we have cash flow. So after all our bills are paid, we're still making money. Like what are we thinking about so much when it comes to money? Like this is stupid. Like most people would kill their mom to live like this. Like what are we doing?
Right.
Some people have. I've seen the documentary. But
right.
It's like, so anyway, I think there's a lot of times like, man, just to pause and just be grateful for the moment you're in and the season you're in. And it always hasn't been this way. And I'm not flexing, saying like, oh, whatever. I mean, trust me, I still got to work. Like, just because I have a yard in paradise doesn't mean I can pay someone to mow it. Okay, so I'm here. I'm working.
I get you. I hear you, man.
Don't hear what I'm not saying, but it's like
right.
At the same time, just like be grateful for what you do have and the opportunity that you have. And I have to be reminded of that every day, especially when you see people saying they're making 4 or 5x what I make, 10x at times. You're like,
but a lot of those people are miserable, my friend. A lot of them are miserable and have horrible home life. So I always have to dig a little deeper. But that's why I love having you on the show, man. Because you tell it is, you work really, really hard, but you also stop and you know what you want and you're getting what you want. So I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of fun. It's all about the journey. There's no destination. I don't care who tells you that. They're lying.
Billy, I know we just met, but I want to push back on something that you said that hits a little close to home for me. You said that if somebody does not do this full time, they will probably not succeed. That a 5 to 9, not 9 to 5, a 5 to 9 will not cut it. And I know a big chunk of the people that are watching right now are part-time with a day job. I want you to make the case against yourself. Who actually pulls it off part-time, and what do they do differently?
Okay, this is not hard. I don't know why I talk too much if I said that. Like, that's dumb. I shouldn't have said that. Because I know a lot of people who make good money doing this. Like, I have some people in my community who are working, full-time jobs, actually, and they're doing this at a part-time level, and they're making a salary. They're making probably like an average yearly salary from it. So yeah, I would probably take that back. Actually, strike that from the record
Struck.
of bad advice, or bad mentality. Because I definitely, I mean, I'm doing it too now. Now that I've built the system, that's what I think is the most important part of any of this stuff. Is like you have to build the system, even if you have to do 5, 10, $15 videos in the beginning. I've since then like 10x my revenue as far as brand deals go, but I'm still doing the same amount of work in less time because I've really just dialed in the system to be able to, do that. And so I think if people are working a full-time job or they're working part-time, they're trying to do this part-time, as long as you have the right system and you can be disciplined, and that's for any business, that's not just for this, but it's like you just have to have the system and show up for yourself. And the people who just keep showing up and showing up and showing up, I mean, I'm the dumb guy who's just like, I ain't quitting entrepreneurship. I'll be homeless before I do that. I'm like, and so anyway, I just keep showing up.
Well,
it keeps working.
I can't remember who said it. I think, success, half of success is just showing up. And I think that consistency, so many people do it. I see so many people stop before the finish line. They're so close and they just like, I'm done. And I'm like, oh, you're so close. Don't stop. So hang in there. If you're struggling, it can get better. I mean, I look at my friend Dustin Stout, who's in the audience, who's had this huge success with Magi. He did a lot of things before he hit it with Magi, but he was consistent. He worked really hard. And it's great to see the people who don't quit before the finish line. And I see Dustin still killing it out there. So kudos to both Billy and Dustin and so many other people who are in the chat room. But Billy, I want to kind of end with this question because we've kind of talked about AI, and you said something about this in January. You told us about an Amazon influencer whose early videos were them holding the product and showing how it worked, and whose newest videos were an AI avatar reading the product description off the listing. And your line was, I know you're trying to be more efficient, but you actually just ruined your brand, and congratulations. That was 7 months ago. So has it gotten better or worse with this, this AI avatar? I mean, we're all using AI hopefully to help us move forward and do some things we're not able to do before. Like I mentioned the cheat sheet club before. What are your thoughts? Is it getting better or worse? Has the line moved on you at all? What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think the line of like AI in general has moved on me. At first I was real like, man, I don't want to, I don't like this because, and this is going to sound mean, but it was like a bunch of wannabes creating stuff out of things they haven't worked for or earned. And so that was what was infuriating to me. It was like, okay, you're just using this smart software to basically rip off elements of other people's work and put it together. It's like you don't even understand the elementary thing of it. And so I was like I didn't really say that too much publicly, but I was pretty much like anti AI for those apparent reasons. It was just like, well, the easy button, it's like irritating me because I'm like, because we worked hard. So it's like, and then when I saw AI kind of taking aim at something I'm doing, I'm like, now I'm even more irritated. Like, what are you doing, robot? Step back before I, Terminator you. And so, I like had that. But then when I realized, like, especially with like Claude co-work, I'm like, wait a minute, I can take my work and like turn on the gas and really cook with some oil here. I'm like, okay, now this is interesting. Like, so my perspective is always changing. I think AI in video and especially in product video is still a bad call. I think even like this video that I have, like this quality and switching cameras and, looking like I'm in a studio, I think maybe even that is not good right now because there's so much polished, perfect, flawless, content going out there. I think people are like, wait, I want to know this person's real. Yeah. So I'm like, just snot in my nose, not fixing my hair. Like, I'm real. Right. Trust me. Because, I think we're moving from that attention. And everybody says it. I mean, I'm not the marketing guru here by any means. But you hear all these Hormozis and Vaynerchucks and all these guys who are kind of at huge scales talking like, well, it's no longer about the attention. It's now about the trust. And can a person turn your video on and trust that you're real and trust that you're sharing a real experience about the product or service that you're offering? Yeah. And so I think that's And also, immediately when I saw an AI video holding up a product and talking about it, I just thought, well, this is it. I'm cooked. And so I immediately reached out to all these companies and go, hey, I see the technology now is pretty much not needing me. Like, am I still needed? What's the future? And they're like, no, we don't want AI. We want real people, because we realize that no one's going to believe that, you know? So I'm like, okay, this is good news for me. But if I'm like a copywriter, a coder, I don't know, man, I feel so bad. But also, it's just different markets. Like you said, like you are helping people with AI. Right. That's an opportunity. So I don't think everyone who codes or everyone who does copywriting is out. Right. I think they just have to pivot and, make a different approach, a different offer, and think outside the box.
Totally agree. So, I always say that, there used to be blacksmiths on every corner, right? We still have blacksmiths. We just don't have that many anymore because things have changed. Technology has changed. And I think the same thing with AI. And so I think people are going to pivot.
That's good. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, you steal it
all
the
time.
time.
Credit you when I remember.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, this has been great. Billy, once again, you have brought the goods, and I always enjoy our chats together. Looking forward to seeing you at Creator Camp with Ecamm. But where can people find out more about Billy? And Dustin actually asked the question. He goes, I need to ask this question before I forget. Where do we hire you to do a video?
Oh, perfect. So if anybody can reach out to me at just billythorpe.live.
billythorpe.live, everybody.
Yeah,
that's where
that's it.
You got his membership there, all sorts of things. If you have any questions, Billy is more than happy to answer those. He is very available and accessible. He's a great guy. Just reach out to him if you have any questions. And another great guy is the amazing Zach Brown. Zach, where can people find out more about the amazing Zach Brown?
Well, you can follow me on Zach Brown Creative on all the socials. There you'll find links to my podcast, The Zach Brown Show, and my new book, An Accidental Education, What I've Learned So Far. If you want to connect, DM me. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Zach's book's amazing. Make sure you guys go check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you much for Ecamm for sponsoring this. As always, you can go to get the cheat sheet for all the ones in the past, but also Billy's going to be coming up here this afternoon as soon as everything fires off after we upload it. But go check that out at jeffc.com/cheat sheet. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, all your great comments, because here at Creator News Live, we have the best chat room in the world.
The Creator News Live chat room. The best chat room in the world.
Thank you guys so much for watching and your comments. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Zach.